Hello, hello. I'm doing another little drawing video. This time I decided I wanted to do some more Invader Zim fan art again. I haven't done that in a while. I might end up doing some more Procreate ones, but this is more of a traditional drawing. The difference between digital and traditional is with traditional you're doing things by hand, with your hands, not on the digital means. Both are interesting mediums to try and they're not easy, but with lots of practice, and if you enjoy it, you'll find you'll have a lot of fun with it. Anywho, we're gonna try and draw some Invader Zim fan art today, if you can see that. I have some of the thinner comics. I have like 3 of the big fat issues where they have like a whole collection of them together. I might try and do some Invader Zim fan art today. If you like watching them drawing these things, it's been a while. But yeah, as a kid, I've been a fan since I was in my teens of Invader Zim, so been a bit of a while since I last drew Zim, so drew Zim from the comics, so I'm using the comics as a reference. What I like about the Invader Zim comics is the use of shadow. So from an artist's perspective, the way they use shadows in the art style, they use a lot of different ways of doing shadows, and I like how they do that, so art perspective. So if you have me reviewing comics and stuff, I will do it from an art perspective as well if you want me to. Well, mine. It might be a bit based because I like the art style. I mean, everyone has different art styles they like and don't like, so... But I mean, I say from this Invader Zim art style is actually pretty interesting. Just had to draw this face. He was pulling the funniest face. I'll probably end up drawing Dib again too in a minute. I really like Dib in the series, but I mean, I wouldn't like in real life, I would not want to do any of the stuff the Invader Zim characters do because half the time they're a little bit mean to each other. Actually, that's an understatement. So I'm still surprised it's still aimed at kids because technically I wouldn't put Invader Zim for little kids for sure. I would put it maybe for a lot older kids and teenagers. Because, I mean, seriously, Zim grabbed a kid's eyes out and put cameras in there. Another one, he switched the brain of a policeman into a squid with the squid's brain, so... So I'm going to do a headshot of him here. So sketch. That's how they've drawn his gloves here, is like that. There's a little pack. One of the funniest face is Zim from the comics. I think the hype's for it's dying down, though. I haven't seen much of it for a while, but then I could be wrong. It could be coming up again. I'm always on the edge of every fandom that I'm in. I'm not always paid attention to that often. So I draw my thing, get out, put my thing up, and get out of the corner. So, as I said, there's a lot of artists, so some of the others are more noticed than others. In every fandom, you have like the good one. I wouldn't just say a good one, that'd be mean. there are a few people who are, for some reason, especially if they're new, seem to want to think they have to box everything for every fandom in thing, but that's not possible, because fandom is like a huge group of people who like the same things, but they like it in different ways, and you really can't really judge a fandom on one person's likes or other. But I mean, a friend put it once, enjoy the show, the comic, the book, the series and stuff, but do not try to join the fandom or pay attention to what the fandom's doing, otherwise you'll be constantly getting bombarded by things you don't want to get bombarded by. Yeah. Some other Invader Zim drawings coming up. That's a good face, actually. He's making there. This is the one where he is the meaty. I recommend reading the comics. They are fun, and they got some interesting art styles going in through it by different artists. Okay, let's try to remember how this is done. It's been a while. I've been drawing some of the anime styles, like 2 different styles. So many different styles to try from. This might be more of a brush style as this has been done. Not perfect, but this is my take on it, so... Okay. Try and get the poses correctly. Okay, so that leg's sort of sticking out like that. It's sort of like... Zim. Things you do. Okay. Probably not the exact same, but this is my take on it, so... try and get the shadows in just correctly. Not always easy to do. Sometimes I have to try and figure out the cross-hatching of things, but I said I'm not a teacher. I'm just a person who does art because they like it. And so on and so forth. Not the worst sim drawing I've ever done. I mean, it's not perfect though, mind you. Okay. Shadows there. I might have done his arm a bit short there. Oh wellies. Can't get everything right. These funny teeth in. There we go, we got some Invader Zim drawings in. Let's make sure they're still filming. Yep, we are. The worst drawing I've done of him yet. Let's see. Got a little drawing dib here. I like some of the art style in this version of the comics. Let's see. I've got a few others. That face he was making there is definitely one of my faves, so now we're gonna draw Dib, one of my favorite characters. Though he's a bit of a jerk at times. So I normally don't fall for characters like Zim and Dib, but for some reason I like them, so. Zim and Dim are kind of like a different. They're jerks, but not jerks at the same time. It's hard to tell with those two. I mean, Family Guy makes their characters even jerkier the more they go on. I mean, I remember some episodes were good, but they seem to get jerkier every episode. But I am being biased on that one, so I mean, there's a lot of people who like Family Guy, but it's not my cup of tea, so we're not talking about that ever. I don't really like adult cartoons that much because they seem to get more gory as heck. And I know Invader Zim has its gory moments, but doesn't go gory all the time, or seem to try and push the envelope, or just be gross just because it's not aimed at adults fully, but I'd say it's more a teenager thing, I guess. I guess it's a gory cartoon for kids, I guess. But not little kids. I would not put it as little kids. I'd say older ones, because I think when it comes to cartoons, manga, and comics and stuff, parents really should pay attention to what their kids get into, because there are some of them have scenes in these that are, oh boy, really not for little kids, and they can be kind of graphic, so you kind of might want to have a sit down and talk to your kids about certain things they shouldn't copy out of cartoons. Like, seriously. And I mean, I don't envy being a parent, but maybe when your kids get into certain cartoons, you should pay attention. I mean, you can't stop them from liking what they like, but you might want to try to be careful what you end up giving them, because as I said, a friend of mine ended up getting into in Blackjack manga series when he really shouldn't have as a kid, because that technically was at teens and older adults, that series, because it's about a doctor, so there's a lot of operation things in there. So I'm still surprised his mom didn't pay attention to that. So dude, my dad used to complain. We used to go on thinking cartoons were oh, that was a good story. I have to tell you guys about. Okay, I'm just drawing a little dib here from the comics. I kind of like the art style. This is what this is going for. I mean, I like the series ones too, but you know, Dib's definitely got a better art style coming for him now, so. But my goodness, in the series he was definitely not something I want little kids to copycat, but still. I mean, seriously, with his upbringing in the series, I'm not surprised Dib acted the way he did, so. I just had to draw this Dib because, my goodness, look at how happy he is. Get around to reading any of the comics, you might end up finding the scene I'm sketching right now, because I left the face he was making here, so I had to try and sketch it. Sometimes I feel really bad for Dib, because, I mean, seriously, his dad doesn't really was not very nice to him in the series. But, Dad seems to like his work more than he likes hanging out with his own kids in the series, but somehow the movie's meant to be like a redemption arc for him, I guess. I don't know. Like, if you ever watch the series, Professor Membrane was not exactly what I would call A+ parenting material, that's for sure. I always love drawing Dib. He's so fun to draw because he's got such a wacky character design. I mean, I haven't seen that many characters with hair like that, man. Seriously, I have not seen many characters with Dib's hair. That's why you can sort of know it's Dib, because you see that hair, so you're like, oh, is that Dib? Is that Dib? You gotta draw that weird cowlick. And then everyone's like, oh, it's Dib. It's Dib, alright. I also love the weird eye squares that they make. Like, instead of like with other cartoons, well, a lot of other cartoons and anime and sort of animation as a whole, they don't usually, when they do the pupil of the eye for characters, like, I'm not sure if it's all of them, but some of them, most of them go for a circle now, like what we normally have. But with the Invader Zim series, everyone's got these like square pupils. It's not circular, it's all square. And I love all the shadow work they do in it. It's a really interesting art perspective. Like, each cartoon series, what I like about different cartoons is they all have like a particular style you can see of the artist. Well, with the older cartoons, now a lot of them go for a manga style. I can't say a lot, but a lot start going now more for a manga style instead of their own unique cartoonish like style. So there's still some that do that, but a lot of them now start going for an a lot of them go for now more of a anime-like style, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but some of the older cartoons, they had more of a wacky style going for them. I think, though, Wonder Over Yonder, I love that cartoon series. I never got to finish it because I had to watch half of it online when I had the time. Like, when I could get the time to look for it. I usually use my iPad a lot, so usually it'll be like YouTube stuff on my iPad. Or, if I'm at home and I have the TV, I have Netflix, so... Look at me, so happy here. So anyway, as I said, I do both traditional and digital. They're both different ways of doing it, but the digital I do is mostly on iPad. I don't like using my computer that much anymore. I used to be on my computer too much, but then the thing is I can't go and get up as easy from it, my computer, so I kind of like doing things on my iPad or with my phone. It's much easier for me, so I'm on those two things more often than none. Because when I get home, I'm kind of like, I just want to do something relaxing. I mean, if you have a long working day, especially when you work in a hospital kitchen, it is a nightmare sometimes because people don't follow their diets and then they get mad at you because you're trying to do what the doctors and nurses tell you when it comes to their cooking, the right foods, and they give you a very hard time. And I tell you again, you do not want to work for a hospital kitchen unless you can handle people being absolutely bastards to you on a regular basis. Because people will be bastards to you in a hospital. Like, half the time they have the excuse of, yeah, they're sick, so they're going to behave like bastards. And there's nothing you can do about it. But other times, it's just because they're bastards anyway. Though it's very funny, I remember when I was a teenager, Mom decided to get back into working after retiring for a little while to raise my sisters and I. And she started working in a daycare as a cook there. And I compare the kids to the adults in the hospital that I work at now. And seriously, adult patients eat worse than little kids do. And kids don't even make a mess on purpose. They're doing it by accident because they're kids. But when you see a grown-ass adult, the way they make a mess of their food, they're like, seriously, you're like going, I've seen kids eat way better, and they accidentally make a mess on a regular than I've seen some adults. And that is saying something. So when people are going, don't be so childish, I'm like going, maybe I should say, maybe just mature. Instead of telling people not to be childish, I think we should say, maybe you should try to have better table manners because you eat like an animal, not like a little kid. You're making a mess more than a kid would. Then again, even animals, no, actually, animals make as much of a mess as a person stuck in hospital. I wouldn't say they're like kids. Some act like weird animals, it's weird. Though as I said, I work in a rehabilitation hospital, so I mostly get adults there. I don't really see kids, so I could be wrong. But my mom did work for a daycare, and I would be there during the holidays. And kids are actually a lot better behaved than some people stuck in hospital, I tell you. Than adults stuck in hospital, because, my goodness. Oh, I really like that one. That came out actually pretty good. Not exactly the same, but it came out pretty good. Can I spell that right? Oh, that came out so nicely. Okay, yeah, that came out actually very well for a sketch. I am so impressed with that. Okay. I think we have had enough of me drawing Invader Zim characters now, haven't we? Now I'm going to go to a bit of a different page. I want a bit more space for this one, because when I draw manga I sometimes get a bit more wound up. Just checking, is it still filming? Yes, it's still filming. Good. Do one more drawing maybe. Let's see. What do we do? Ooh. We might do a little bit of My Hero Academia right now, because I haven't drawn that in a while. Oh, look at this. This is such a beautifully done artwork. Again, recommend it. So we go from cartoon style of the West, then we go down over to the East with Japan's manga style. So we went from comic to manga. I'm going to see if I can try drawing Midoriya again. I really like this character, so I've been trying to draw him a few times. I'm not sure if you guys seen the other sketches I've done of him. I have a bit of trouble with his hair, which is weird because I have no trouble with Invader Zim Dib, but I have so much trouble with Midoriya, which is weird because I like both characters. I love Midoriya. As I said, I love Midoriya because he's such a nice guy. He's a sweetie and he's not a bully and he's everything one wants. And the problem is when I'm filming people's other fan art, I can't do the whole figurine. Okay, so he's got... Gotta make sure I do this correctly, otherwise I'm gonna be annoyed with myself here. And he's got stocky neck, and I've done it wrong. Scream. Okay, he's got a more rounded head, so he's not too pointy. If I wanted a hero, I definitely want Midoriya to be a hero for sure. He's the kind of person I would definitely expect to be considered a nice hero. He's definitely a cinnamon roll, I believe all the fans. I admit it, I kind of get into fandoms a little bit, so... But as I said, for every fandom I'm in, I sort of feel like I'm on the club's edges. For a lot of things, I don't always feel like I fit in. So I feel like I'm just the person drawing in the corner in most places, doing my own thing and getting ignored, except unless I do something exactly that, but then they go away back to the more popular things, so... I love Midoriya though, he's such a sweetie. I hope he really becomes the hero he wants to be, because I think he deserves to be a hero. I don't like the whole turning him into a villain thing, because I feel like that's unfair, but I mean all the characters are done well. Kei-chan or Bakudo, oh my god, he pissed me off at the beginning, but I mean, I think I'm starting to warm up to him a little bit, but oh my god, his treatment of Midoriya in the beginning gave me so many flashbacks to when I was bullied. I couldn't like the guy so easily at all. But he seems to be learning a bit, but I don't know. I mean, when people want to put him in, I have a hard time finding out why he's so liked half the time, but I mean, that's everyone's thing, but he comes off as such a nasty guy sometimes, and it's like not fair really, because he's like so full of himself and everything in the beginning, and it was like, oh my god, I couldn't tell why people liked him, and I felt so bad for that because I know a lot of people liked him. I mean, he's an interesting character and everything, but my god, he comes off as such a bully. I have a hard time even believing him as a hero. Which some of the in the show, they even mention it themselves. It's like, you don't really come off as a hero that much. And I'm like going, yeah, it's true, you don't. But, I mean, he's starting to grow on me a little bit, but, I mean, he's learning, if he learns to redeem himself a bit, no, that's not how that bit of hair was going. Anyway, if he's learning to redeem himself as the thing goes, but it's just, I wish he would regret how he behaves, because he really can't seem to tell that his behavior is downright nasty sometimes. Like, and it's like, you want to be a hero with that kind of attitude? I'm like going, But I mean, Midoriya I definitely like as a hero character, because, like, as I said, I like also One Piece. Big fan of that. But, as I said, so I've been following that. I did like a bit of Naruto at the beginning, but then I sort of lost interest in it after a while. I don't know, it just didn't seem to keep me for long, so I mean, those people can be able to still keep up with Naruto. I'm impressed, even though they've put this new character in now, and it's now Naruto has a kid, and the kid's now part of everything, but, yeah, I couldn't really like Naruto's kid at first. From what I've seen of him, he seems like a bit of a spoiled brat. Like, he's like, what, your dad's not home all that often, but he tries to send in a version of himself to be there for you, and so on and so forth, and then you're like, do you truly understand? Your dad probably doesn't understand the whole concept of being at home with family or whatnot, because he didn't have one most of his life, and oh god. At least you got your mother there half the time. Like, I don't know, it seems weird. I'm like, Midoriya, even though his dad was never home very often, I see him being an absolute sweetie pie, because his mum was such a good influence there. I mean, I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting into Naruto again, so... I mean, some things about it kind of annoy me, like Sasuke so easily being accepted back into the town. It seems a bit weird. Then again, I haven't seen it, so... as I said, I've seen some of the beginning when I was a kid, but I couldn't keep up with it, and then other things got in. It's like, I think I had more, because my sisters followed Sailor Moon a lot, so we ended up having that a lot in our household, and I had Pokemon as something I always wanted to go for. And One Piece always kept me a lot longer than, I mean, it's a very long series, though. I mean, I understand, but... Anywho... See, different styles of animation and so on. I'm always having trouble with his hair. I'm a bit too much of a perfectionist, so like when I see something, I need to get it exact right. I mean, everyone has a different way of doing things, so... maybe I need to look up some more tips on how to draw Midoriya's hair somewhere. Okay, getting this better. How do you draw his hair? Freaking heck. What is your secret? And also, people always want free art from certain artists. I'm like going, not a good idea to draw that. If you want a drawing done this badly without having to pay for it, do it yourself. Learn to draw yourself and draw it yourself then, because seriously, you're not going to get it for free, because a lot of artists struggle a lot just to draw the thing, and you should pay them if you want the artwork from them, because it's not an easy art form to do. Like, I have fun drawing, and this is what I do for myself. But it took me a long way to get here, because I did a drawing I do a sketch. A drawing and a sketch every single day. Some days I can even get a few drawings out of sketches, so forth. Looks a bit weird without his eyes there. We're going to put them in a minute. Oh, good. I actually did something where he actually looks like Midoriya. Freaking yes! Is it still filming? Oh no, don't tell me it hasn't been filming the whole drawing sketching. Oh lord. I'll show you in a minute. It's like... Anyway. Freaking got a Midoriya sketch going there, yes. It actually looks like Midoriya is supposed to look for once. Oh yes, with his hair even as well. Sketch. Alright, he has the sweat mark there. I love Midoriya. Sweet little cinnamon roll. I love this character though. Zuki. Am I saying this right? Oh god, I'm so bad with words. I'm not so good with names either. Midoriya. Deku. Love him. I gotta love Midoriya. He's such a cutie pie. Alrighty, let's see if I can do something else. Actually, I could try talking about a bit more. No, maybe just Such a inspirational. Let's see, I want to draw a funny face. I want to draw a funny face. Give me a funny face to draw. Do funny face, where are you? Oh Lord. I already drew that face a while ago, didn't I? Don't want to copy myself all over again unless I want to try to redraw from my last on it. Another little cinnamon roll I want to try and draw. Or a little bowl of sunshine is maybe what we should call him. Definitely like going for characters that are like bowls of sunshine. Or cinnamon rolls are definitely my favorites. Let me see, what face do we have that I want to try drawing for this version of the manga? There we are. Let's see if we can try drawing this face. That was all back in middle school, wasn't it? Can you still see from here? I hope so. I might have a look for a minute. There we go. Alrighty. See if I can try drawing this without mucking it up too much. Definitely more pointy faced here. Not as round. I think I mean one eyed too. Shrink that down a size bit. details mangas have. You have to be impressed. Can't help but be impressed by the art styles. They put a lot of time and detail into these things, so I mean, not to appreciate it. It's weird. I kind of like in this, like when they do teenage characters, they actually look like teenage characters. No offense to some of the other sports animes I've seen out there, but some of them do not do characters like they're teenagers. Like, you're supposed to have a team sport of teenagers in high school, and you'd have them looking like adults is very weird. But hey, some people like that. I mean, I'm not gonna go against them. I mean, I might be biased here, but I don't know. It's like when you have a bunch of teenage characters as the main focus, especially if you're comparing them with the adult characters in the series, wouldn't you want them to look like teenagers? Just saying. I mean, there was this one person, I'm not going to say up on YouTube somewhere, he's kind of annoying me because he's like saying there was a big downfall for a thing because he's comparing it to another sports anime. Here, this volleyball one, Haikyuu or something. I'm trying to figure out how to say that without butchering it here, sorry. Like, his biggest thing was he said that even though these are teenage characters, he's like saying that's a drawback that they look like teenage characters. I'm like, wait, dude, that's because they are teenage characters. Why would that be a drawback? And then I end up hearing when he's comparing it to this basketball anime, which I know nothing about, so I'm biased on that one. But I don't know, if you're going to try and compare something, shouldn't you then make sure you've watched all of it? All of both of the series? Like at least the first 2 seasons, all of it, not just a few episodes from each season. You have to watch the full thing then? I don't know. I find it very weird. If you're trying to make a review on something and you couldn't even be bothered to, I don't know, watch the whole... You're doing a review on something and you couldn't even be bothered to watch the first whole season properly, and instead of just a few episodes, and you're using it to compare it to something else, and then you're being biased, saying the other one's better when you've only watched a few of the one beforehand. So I'm like going, dude, that's not how you do a proper review. You have to watch the whole thing. Look, I can say that the Twilight book series is an absolute snore. It's not a very good book series to read because I've actually read all the books. So I can actually make an honest opinion on it. But I mean, there's people who like it, but I can say the Twilight series. I can say the Twilight series sucks because I've actually read all the books. They suck. I mean, it's probably only good for teenage girls who can handle having to wait to read past chapter 7 just to get to a story, I suppose. But I'm like going... It is not worth anyone's time. Oh, freaking heck. It is not worth anybody's freaking time, that series. Whereas Haikyuu, I can say I've watched both the first 2 seasons, and I absolutely love it. It gets better every season, I swear. And the characters are so interesting. We will stick around for the characters, man. I'm like... I don't know, I feel like, anyway, as I was saying, you can't really make an honest opinion and compare it to something else if you haven't actually fully watched it properly. I don't know, it just seems weird. Like, I mean, how can you make an honest opinion on something like that if you couldn't even go that far? Weird. Like, I say I can't make any comparisons with Adventure Time because I haven't really watched the whole thing through and I wasn't that into it, so I say I'm never going to do a review on that because I haven't really watched the whole series, so I can't make an honest opinion on it, so... If you want a review of that, you have to... Like I say with all people... Actually, that's like with the, was it the Golden Globes or... I forgot what it was. Anyway, when they were reviewing some of the animated movies for the year over in the Golden Globes for the West, they didn't do an honest job. Nope, they didn't. You want to know how I know this? Because they ended up saying they didn't actually watch it, they just... I always have trouble with these spiky hair dudes. Especially because I get caught up in the details. I'm like, no, I have to do what I see. It's the best of what I can do. I can have to draw what I see, but anyway. There we go, I got his hair. Freak, took me forever. Yeah, why is it always that I like the characters with the hardest hair to draw? Oh, someone's coming home. Better end this up in a minute. Okay. All right.